So you look nice.
Thank you.
You get a haircut?
I did get a little bit of a
really
haircut.
nice.
I appreciate that.
It reminds me of like sort of 1990s Eric Clapton.
Does it? Interesting.
Okay.
Seems to be the way things are going.
So what are we talking about today?
I think we're going to talk about John Mayer.
And a particular song?
A particular song.
Which one?
I believe the name of the song is The Last Train Home.
Because I remember like in all the guitar publications of sorts online and whatnot, like it's all John Mayer single releasing soon, and it's
true.
Cool. Like I checked it out too, and like I didn't think Eric Clapton when I first heard it, but it totally is, isn't it?
It is totally. What'd you think?
I mean, my wife and I, she like tuned up, was like, why are you playing Toto? Because I was like, it's Toto.
I mean, that fits, right?
I was like, man, and I like Toto, so I was like, this is awesome. It's really tight. It's 80s.
I saw someone say in a like a social media comment, thanks for bringing back the sound of adult contemporary music, which all those things fall into. And that is not a slam.
But I mean, it kind of it is if you're like rock and roll.
Yeah.
But it's like John Mayer's a grown man now. He's not like a punk kid like he used to be.
Because he's still so pretty and youthful looking.
He was never a punk kid. He was always just a beautiful siren.
It's very tall.
He is tall.
Yeah.
He is tall. But
true.
No, yeah, I definitely thought Toto when I first heard it.
Yeah.
And so what is he doing then?
I mean, it is obviously essentially a pop song, right?
Okay.
Like an 80s pop song. But he's playing a Soldano.
Okay, and I think Sir Clapton played one of those as well.
I feel like he did.
He's been knighted, hasn't he? Eric, is he a knight? Is if anybody knows, just fact check it. I feel like Sir Elton John is a knight, but I mean Elton John is Elton John.
Elton John's Elton John.
That's pretty. He's like a different
And Paul
level.
McCartney, he's a knight.
Yeah, so maybe.
I feel like Clapton is.
Because I did watch a video the other night of Brian May, Jimmy Page, and Eric Clapton meeting the Queen. This was a few years ago. They're all in their tuxedos. It was really cool. They're all standing there. And when she got to Eric Clapton, she goes, how long have you been playing guitar? Which I think is so cool.
Just a moment.
She had no idea who this guy was. I loved it.
I mean,
That makes me so happy about the Queen. She's just in a different world. And
she didn't care.
God save the Queen, always. But anyway, so what was John Mayer's intention with this in your brain?
I think he set out to do this.
I would clearly hope so.
I mean, I think when you're John Mayer at this point in your life/career, that would be fun to like take. And I think John Mayer, this is one of the things I think John Mayer does really well. He like puts on this role and gets into it, and his style, everything about it, the gear, he sort of like redefines, reshapes himself, and does it for that project.
He's like Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
And he climbs inside of a human suit.
Yes.
To bring unsuspecting Scottish men to their death in a slimy pool.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought you were saying.
For some reason, what's the movie where is it Leonardo DiCaprio
That's
like, climbs inside of like a dead horse?
What? No, that's The Revenant.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about a Scarlett Johansson movie. I'm not gonna say the title.
Thing.
I know it, but that's kind of what John Mayer does. I just want to see you guys comment on like the movie because it's a great weird movie. And a fun fact about this movie too is all the actors in it besides Scarlett and all the people, her victims, they didn't know they were in a movie until later. They just thought they were being picked up by this hot girl, and she has a great accent in the movie too. She's driving around in a van just getting victims. It's wonderful. It's alien serial killer movie. Back to John Mayer.
Back to John Mayer. But he's done it over and over, right? He did Dead and Company. He sort of put on Jerry Garcia.
So we're going back. So that was the last incarnation.
He had his like Americana, like I'm Bruce Springsteen, wearing his like little bandana.
That's when all the young girls I knew like, oh, he's so dreamy.
Right.
Continue.
He did his John Mayer trio, where he was like sort of Hendrixy.
Everybody like Gear Page ended up liking him at that point.
I mean, he's just done it. You know, he started out, he was like sort of like, I'm sort of Dave Matthews / Jack Johnson. When I mean, that was way back when I heard that run through the halls of my high school song.
Bodies of Wonderland.
Even before that, well, I guess Bodies of Wonderland. Was it on that first one, Room for Squares? I didn't hear that. Like the first stuff I heard was that I want to run through the halls of high school.
I really actively did not like that when it first came because that was such a different music that I was into. I was into sort of like the sort of New York scenester stuff, and this is the only music. And like, look how bad we can all look with $100 designer T-shirts on. And it's the same. It's all absurd. But I think that is a good point. Like he is doing this on purpose.
Yes, which is so different than, hey, I've never heard of Led Zeppelin.
like a Greta Van Fleet style, or even like one of my favorite bands. I love Interpol.
Yes.
But like it's clearly Joy Division like influence, and and I remember like one of the interviewers like early on, they're like, I think it's just because they were young, and they were ambushed, and I'm like, hey, your influence is Joy, and they're like, no, we never heard Joy Division. I'm like, you sound just like him when you sing like this. It's okay. It's a great band.
Well, same for Greta Van Fleet. I don't think those guys meant anything by it. They're young. They're figuring it out.
Yeah.
People are bombarding them with like, you guys are clones of Led Zeppelin. I mean, you know,
And those guys can't even afford shoes, for goodness sake.
For
So, like,
goodness sakes.
cut them some slack.
Or good buttons on their shirts.
Yeah, like they're wearing stuff like this handed down from like the Carpenters.
Weird.
For Jiminy's sake. Since the podcast is in preparations right now, I use all the cuss words for that. I can't. So like they're all gone by the time we get here. They've been evaporated.
Fun Instagram interaction that I saw. Kenny Wayne Shepherd commented on John Mayer's Instagram about the song, and he just put, journeyman tone, talking about Clapton, obviously. And some lady was like, why can't we just let people have their own creative thing without pinning them into this blah, 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 blah. She was like kind of like smacking Kenny Wayne Shepherd's hand for...
I don't think journeyman tone's an insult.
It was not, first of all.
I think, because I remember like as a kid when Journeyman came out, like that tone was unobtainable. It was unobtainium because A, it's Clapton, but B, the guitar and the amp alone are way too expensive for any mere human to buy.
I mean, I'd still love to have a Soldano.
I don't know if I want one.
I want one.
I don't know. It's like, maybe. I do. I'm an amp junkie. What did I say?
He wants one. If we had one, he'd have.
Just got Mason the other day. It's like I might have to keep that one. Because the fish tone, maybe.
There you go. But anyway, someone corrected her relatively nicely and said, hey, John Mayer is choosing. He obviously knew what he was doing from the band members he picked, the way he recorded it, the way he's dressed. I mean, like, it's obviously a fun role he stepped into.
It is. It's the Scarlett Johansson in the alien suit, the human suit. No, it is. I respect that because again, I mean, the song, like, it's not my jam necessarily.
I think if I just heard the song without thinking about any of these things, without knowing any of that, I would be like, meh.
But then once you got into like, okay, that's kind of a cool thing. But
it's a cool thing.
It's just,
And I mean, I feel that way about, like, this is going to be horrible, but some of the 90s Clapton, I feel that way. I mean, it's cool. I love it.
You shut your face right now.
I know.
You shut your face.
I know.
If anything on Journeyman's still pretty amazing.
I do love Journeyman. The tone is amazing on Journeyman.
His sustain, like if you put that record on today, it still holds up.
It does.
And even like that one from like The Color of Money, like, it's just the way that you use it. Like it's like he has this guitar solo that's like so short, but the song is so good.
But it's so good.
Then he just does like key change, boom. It's just the way that you. It's like, oh my god, this is such a classic Clapton of the '90s.
So is that when Sheryl Crow was his backup singer?
I feel like that was before.
Was it before?
I think that was. I don't know. Journeyman's like when he was like reintroduced to like the world as like.
Right.
The new Clapton.
Yeah.
Like and it was a.
I just want to picture Sheryl Crow behind him singing that.
God Lord, she's so beautiful. It's sort of fresh, and I didn't think so when I was a young person. And then like now I'm older now, and I look back at all the versions of her, and she's beautiful now, and she's beautiful then.
And now you're smarter. Yes.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, the same thing happened. This is not to disparage anybody, but the same thing happened when I was watching Sopranos with my wife the other day. I remember like Carmela Soprano, like how like ugly I thought she was as a kid or something. And like I'm watching her now, I'm like, man, Carmela's hot. Like she's like, is that Edie Falco? Is that a character?
No idea.
But I was like, man, she's one of those funny like jersey shorts, like and then like her hair is like. I'm like, man, like Tony had it good.
Tony had it pretty good.
And he was messing with the Russian girls and everything. I get that. I respect that too. But it's like, man, that girl was
just playing a role too.
I'm watching that. She's flirting with her priest and everything. I'm like, man, this is all sorts of wrong.
One does.
So Sheryl Crow, hats off to you. Like
there you go.
You're
God
a
bless you.
Icon. Like
you are.
You're not quite Dolly Parton, but who is? I mean, it's pretty much like Dolly Parton, Elton John. It's like it's like you can't get any better than that for like the best female, the best man ever made.
I just
by the gods above. Thank you, Odin.
It's true. And Dolly sends our children's books.
Are you on that list now?
Yeah.
Okay. How long you been on that?
Forever.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's and like so Dolly has a book thing where you get a free book for your child until he gets like what 6?
Yeah.
Or something like every month. It's absurd. And like, so when we finish the book, we give that book to charity too, so it passes along and the kids read. It's amazing. It's like the Imagination Library or
something like that. Yeah.
Imaginatarium or
I don't know.
It's pretty amazing. It's Dolly. It's just it just falls out of her hair.
True.
And her nails go and books appear. Amazing. But yeah, so hats off. Check out the new John Mayer thing. Let us know what you think about it. We're curious.
Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you not care? I am curious.
Yeah. I'd like to know. It's something.
Are you trading your helixes in for a Soldano?
Ooh. I do want I want the pink. It's not shell pink. I want the vomit pink. You know, the bright Pepto pink. That was pretty hot.
I like that.
I like anything pink. But anyway.
So anyways, you know what to do. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Click that bell so you don't miss videos like these in the future. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.